Hey, how are you, everybody? Today is the last presentation I do on this SOFA summit. We've been getting together, a lot of us ladies getting together, talking about, something positive for these days. Many people are at home, and we are all watching the news, right? Don't tell me that you don't, because you do. So why not use the time also to learn something that may help you? And my specialty is chronic illness. Yes, because I am a chronic illness. Okay, what am I? Survivor, dealer. Okay, I think I'm a chronic illness coach. Yes, a chronic illness coach. That's what I am, because I have a chronic illness. And living with this has given me the privilege and the knowledge of knowing how it affects a whole bunch of people differently. In my case, the way I started with chronic illness, it was because of, I did have pains and aches growing up, but they were not hindering my life. So I think they have a little bit to do with my illness, but what triggered the whole thing was four car accidents. So I have my two chronic illnesses that are already diagnosed, plus injuries. So yes, life is beautiful. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm not saying that sarcastically at all. Life is beautiful in spite of chronic illness. Why do I say that? Because I know that I'm not alone. Because I know that I have the tools. Hey, how are you, Carrie? Because I know that I can deal in my own terms. Do you want to know what I do and how can I say these things? Well, let me tell you a little bit about, because not everybody's the same, and I'm not saying that what I do will fix you, because it has not fixed me, but it's helped me a bunch. So let me tell you some things that I've noticed. I noticed that whenever you have a chronic illness, we share a lot of symptoms. We share generalized pain, brain fog, inflammation, whether it's visible, like you have an inflamed part in your body, in your joints or muscles, or it's that kind of inflammation when you cannot seem to lose weight and you're retaining a lot of water. Go on my social media for a few years ago, and you're going to see the difference between how I looked. I just got some memories today from 2016, and I was like, oh my goodness, I do look different, because it was a lot of inflammation. I have not lost that much weight. I've lost 24 pounds, but it's not that much. It looked like I weighed a lot more. Well, anyways, that was inflammation. You also experience fatigue, depression, whether it's depression because it's clinical depression, because is your illness, or depression because you're dealing with a whole bunch of stuff and then your brain cannot process anything else and you get depressed. And also, one of the biggest ones, sleep disruption. I still deal with this. Although it has improved, it's one of my main problems, the sleep disruption. So there are solutions that you can look into whenever it comes to your chronic illness. And I'm saying chronic illness, I'm putting in there autoimmune, I'm putting in there things that you can that you have to deal with maybe for the rest of your life. I'm putting this category, to me, doesn't include something that is short term, because short term, and like maybe having an illness that has a beginning and an end, yeah, you know that it's gonna be over, so you are actually don't worry too much about it. Sorry, I have my thing on. I'm talking about chronic illness, something that is like a pest, like a pest that you cannot get rid of. That's the chronic illness I'm referring to. So there's some short-term solutions that can be used. That's when you have to go to your doctor and talk to them, and they can give you a prescription medication. And these prescription medications, most of them are great for short-term solutions. Like if you have been dealing with a whole bunch of stuff for a long time, and you finally get a diagnosis, and then you start taking this prescription, it can give you like a breather, like a respite, right, that you needed. But then my recommendation is, because I went through that already. That was 2000. When was I diagnosed? 2008, I believe. Yes, 2008. I was diagnosed 2008, so it's been 12 years. I was 28 years old, do the math. And I had been dealing with a whole bunch of things. So I did try the medication, but now looking back, I didn't know back then, but now that's why I'm telling you. Looking back, I can tell you that use that breather to come up with a plan that you can carry on the long term. Because doing prescription medications for a long term can also bring you more problems, and that's the thing that you want to avoid. More side effects and stuff like that. It's okay for short-term use, and there are some medications that you need to take for life probably, but it's up to your research and how well you work with your doctors. Because I think that if you try some of the pointers that I'm going to give you, you're going to be able to take a hold of your illness. So let's break it in small segments. One of the things that I understand about the things that you have to do is that you have to find a way to make this sustainable. So you break it down. Like in my case, I was feeling backed up, you could say, and I'm not talking about just not having bowel movements. It was like all my functions, my body functions, they had a delay. Like maybe a lot of you now are doing Zoom and you can see the delay on the video and the audio. It was like that. My body functions had a delay. It was like my reflexes were off. So you feel backed up, and in a way you start getting inflammation. You start feeling that that you're not at your best. So I started doing some research, and there are some stuff that help you in your body that you have to help them so they can keep helping you. It's like circle, right? And those are your filters. Your filters, which are the main ones, because we have other smaller ones, but the main ones are the kidneys, the digestive system, your skin, and your liver. Okay, so if we support those, they can start, like disposing of the yucky stuff, and maybe your body starts feeling much lighter. And when it's feeling much lighter, it gets more agile, and the reflexes start coming back. And I'm not talking about reflexes like this, like the doctor does. I'm talking about the reflexes of how your body functions and how they respond to the things that they need to do in order for you to keep functioning and to keep even thinking. And I'm talking about how you can improve from the inside out. Okay, so those filters, we have to take care of them. So start by watching what you use for personal care in the household products. A lot of people who have seen the change in me, they ask me, what oil do you use for this or that? Because they end up having the same diagnosis I have. And I'm like, none. I did not use any oils that took away that. And they're like, what? But you like oils. You are always talking about, yeah, I know. But the first thing I did was get rid of the things that were making me sick. So I started helping my gut by taking pro and prebiotics. Pro and prebiotics, also digestive enzymes. I tried different nutrition protocols, and checked how they worked for me. And some of them didn't even make sense. I mean, I considered myself a flexitarian, 95% vegan. I did eat meat once in a while because I don't see anything, I don't have a problem with that. But whenever somebody told me about keto and eating animal products every day, I was like, no, thank you. But whenever I tried it, the way my body responded to that was like, I love it. So I was like, I have to keep doing it. Why? Because my body responded to that. So I was proved wrong on that. So we are not mechanicals. It's not like we can be measured by anything, because every individual is different. So try out stuff for at least a month or so and see how you respond to that. And do not focus on the results that somebody else had. Focus on the results of how you are responding to that thing that you're doing, okay? Because everybody is different. We are living organisms. So drink plenty of water. And how do you know how much water you need? You need to get your body weight, and then based on that, half of that weight in ounces. That's how much water you need per day. You need to supplement. You need to supplement with food-based supplements. Food-based supplements. That way you will absorb them and utilize them fully. Because otherwise you're gonna be making luxury pee. You need to have food-based supplements. Eat better. You don't have to eat right. You have to eat better. A lot of people say, oh, I'm doing this diet, and then they do it so good, so good, so good, and then they just fall off the diet and they quit. Why? Because they wanted to be perfect. You do not have to be perfect. You are chronically ill. You are dealing with a bunch of things that maybe you were not dealing with before on top of your daily life. Cut yourself some slack. Eat better, not perfect. Eating better is like you make conscious choices of the food that you're eating. I do keto. I have a keto channel on Instagram, and some weeks I'm like posting every day, super motivated, and some weeks I disappear. Why? Because I'm eating carbs. But I'm not eating carbs like I used to before, having tres leches and having cookies. No, I'm eating like 1 or 2 tortillas. I'm having a small serving, very small serving of pasta. So cut yourself some slack. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to be better. And every time that you're better, you will keep improving. You just don't go back to the opposite, okay? Another thing, this has to be a rule. This does have to be a rule because it is so bad for you, and I didn't understand it until I went off of it. You know what this is? Do you like my cup? Let me see. Let me show you my cup. I went off of sugar, and sugar is so bad, so bad. So I think I do still consume some forms of sugar when it comes to, you know, when my metabolism my metabolism turns it into sugar, but I do not like purposely put sugar anywhere, and I am careful on the complexity of the carbs that I do eat. I guess most of my sugar I will get during the summer when I'm eating more fruits and watermelon and mangoes. Those, sorry, are my favorite. So, yeah, but if you can get off sugar, stevia, monk fruit, maybe some swerve, those are better choices. Do not go to the synthetic choices, which is my DIY mascara is not dry yet. It takes a little while. Go to my other video and I shared my DIY mascara. So don't use those synthetic ones because they give you cancer and they're bad for you. Just do your research. The blue one and the pink one, ugh. The yellow one, but no. Stevia, number one. Yeah, and monk fruit and stevia. Love those two. So our health starts in our gut. So we need to work on our gut. We need to oh yeah, I love the thing with the fruit, scary. We need to work on our gut. Okay, we cannot be also I was talking to you about the filters. Now the filters are taking care of, you know, our body functions. So even though we cannot be 100% toxin free, because toxins can be in the air, we can control many of the products that we use on the daily. Deodorant, toothpaste, detergent, fabric softener. My mom used to tell me fabric softener is so bad for you, and I loved it. I love my Suavitel. I'm Mexican. Suavitel was the bomb for me. I even had it in little bottle sprays, and I used it whenever I was ironing clothes, and I used it as a spray for the house, and whenever now I have leather, but I used to have the cloth furniture, and I used it for my cloth furniture too. So I was a Suavitel groupie. And I didn't know how bad it was for my endocrine system. I'm still repairing it. As you can see, I have still some acne, and acne down here is your hormones. So I'm still working on it, and it's been 5 years that I've been doing changes. You do not have to do a whole bunch of drastic changes if you can't. Like, it's just like with food. You don't eat perfect, you eat better. So you do not have everything perfect in the house where you make your own detergent, your own deodorant, your own toothpaste. Maybe you can't, but you can purchase the ones that are toxin free. But little by little, at least start with 1 or 2 gateway products that are DIY that you fall in love with, and then that you see the results, and maybe that'll open the door for you to make bigger changes later on. So that's another thing, because all those chemicals, we're processing them in our system, and they are making us sicker. So go watch that movie. It's on Netflix. It's included in Netflix. It's called Stink. You need to go watch it if you want to know what I'm talking about. And if you don't have Netflix, there are other platforms where you can rent it from, okay? And you just need to watch it. Now also, another thing that helps with dealing with chronic illness is what's between your ears. Mental health. And it's also, this is the funnel where everything falls in, and then the funnel falls down to your heart. So taking care of your mental health and your heart, your feelings center, okay, the emotional, the mental support, that is paramount. And that was my gateway to start getting into this journey. Why? Because whenever I started using essential oils, I was not interested in supplements. I was not interested in anything else but oils. Because I found out that oils can help you regulate your emotions. And sometimes being like snappy, negative, emotional, may be a byproduct of your physical ailments. and those can be confused with personality flaws easily. So yeah, you feel misunderstood, you feel that nobody loves you, that nobody cares, that nobody's suffering more than you. You feel that way, but that is not you. Is the pain, is the illness that doesn't allow you to think clearly. Remember, one of the things that we share is the brain fog and the fatigue. It takes an emotional toll. It does. So oils have been extensively researched and are proven to help mood, perspective in a positive way. I'm going to repeat that. They help mood and perspective in a positive way. Oils. Scientifically, science has proven them. I'm sorry. I'm bilingual. Okay, so that's where I got started. And before I got to work on my physical ailments, oils helped me to get the emotional foundation to endure the changes that I needed to make to sustain a lifestyle that would take me on the road to recovery. Let that sink in. You have to lay the emotional foundation to endure the road to recovery. Many people think of the goal of, okay, I am going to be who I used to be when you're chronically ill. I am going to be back to healthy. And a lot of people can achieve it. Bravo. I'm happy for them. But a lot of people can't. So that's not an attainable goal for everybody. The goal is to be more functional, in my case, to be more functional, to feel useful, to come to terms with my illnesses, and to be able to keep working. So those are my goals. That is my recovery. Even if my illnesses never go away, I can still be me. I can still deal, and I can still do it in my own terms. So you need this endurance in order to enjoy the road. Enjoy the road. Do not wait until you get to your goal to be happy. You have to enjoy the road. And that way you do not get discouraged for the common snags that come with the territory. You do not get discouraged. You just keep on going, keep on swimming, swimming, right? So I didn't know that I would be doing so much personal development when, I started using oils, and I love it. I love it because they help me release a bunch of endorphins. And like Elwood said in that legendary movie, what is it called? Legally Blonde. She said, exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy, and happy people don't shoot their husbands. So endorphins is very powerful. In this case, oils also help you release a whole bunch of emotional patterns that allow you to focus on the positive things that you have around your life. So perspective wise, also I learned that I can still rely on medical doctors. I still have an open dialogue with them, and I take I take stuff to them so they can work with me. I am not against prescriptions. Like I said at the beginning, they are useful up to a point, but let me read this, because Oh, but you never make sure that you never stop a prescription without consulting to your doctor. They have to help you wean off of them if that's what you want, and you have to know. So thanks to that dialogue that I started with my doctors, I was able to have a prescription of not being balanced, being not too against, the medical community, and not being all for just natural stuff. There has to be a balance, because they have their place. They have their place. It's just that right now the thing is, like, some people are on this color and some people are on this color, and it's not how it works, because they're not the same thing. Prescriptions are not the same thing as natural things. So you have to know the value of both and give them their value. And that's the point. So because of that mentality, perspective that I had, I started taking my supplements to my doctors. And I just didn't say, oh, what do you think about this? No. What I did is I did my research on how this food-based supplement works, why they made it the way they made it, and then I would talk to my doctor, and you have just a few minutes, so you do have to do your rehearsal beforehand. You do have to do your rehearsal, and then you just talk to your doctor, and then they look at it and they're like, okay, well, for your needs, I suggest you take this much. And that's how I've done it. I've done it with 3 of my doctors, and I am so happy for it. So you can always talk to your doctors. You do not expect them to know or to say, yeah, go ahead, because they're not trained on the supplements that you want to take. So it would not be fair for them, nor you, to tell them, hey, what do you think about this? Whenever they don't know anything about the product that you're talking about, they're going to say no all the time. So knowing how your prescription works also, and being aware of how food and supplements affect you individually, is a very good skill to acquire. And that skill you acquired by doing research, listening to reputable teachers, and also looking for good book sources and online sources. Another thing that helps with chronic illness is exercise. I really, really, really don't like exercise. The only exercise I do tend to like is swimming and dancing. So, but I don't do them often enough. I don't do them often enough. So my exercise, since I was very, very, very sedentary for a while, my exercise is that I have not gotten my placard for, handicap, and I park really far, even though I walk very slowly, but that's my exercise. So whenever I'm running errands, I try to put in some steps in there, going up and down a few steps if I feel like I can. Otherwise I don't, but I keep moving as much as I can. And also stretching at home, I do that. So always for exercise, if you can't follow something, go ahead and do it. But for exercise, I would say just do more than nothing. Do more than nothing. Okay, let's talk about the stuff I use now. The stuff I use that Young Living offers. They offer a whole bunch of products that support different types, of body functions in your system, and they're free of synthetics, free of toxins, and free of harmful chemicals. So the basis of these are the food sources, and because whenever they're based in food, there is maximum absorption of the supplement that you're taking. So remember the luxury pea? We don't make luxury pea because it is proven that in a study they did with multigreens, it is proven that you can absorb up to 85% of that supplement, because of the essential oils that they add to the supplement, and because it doesn't have any chemicals, toxins. So 85%. A lot of people, they just absorb very little, between 25 to 45%, and 45% it's considered to be a very good supplement whenever it doesn't have any essential oils in them. So yeah, so my top five, my top 6 supplements, I did 5 and then I added another one, are ningxia red, sulfur thyme, cortistop, endogize, cool azul pain cream. It's not a supplement, but I love it, and essential enzymes. Those are my favorite things that are not oils. And my favorite oils are peppermint vitality, because it keeps me cool, digest vitality, because it's a lot of digestive support. I love putting it under my tongue because I don't like the way it smells, but it doesn't taste that bad. Pan away for muscle support, deep relief roll-on for my neck. I love that. Thieves vitality for my immune system, and frankincense for brain support. And I love that that all of these supplements and essential oils, they come from food sources. So in summary, dealing with a chronic illness can be done. It can be done, and it has to integrate all aspects of your life. Your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, all of it has to come together and make you stronger, build you up, okay? So being realistic, you have to accept what you're going through and not compare to others, because everybody is in their own journey. But the point is to enjoy the journey, okay? You can enjoy it. It could appear that you are all alone. It's daunting, it's very intimidating, but you are not. You are not, because I have traveled quite a ways on this path, but I'm not so far in the front that I cannot lend you a hand. So just give me a call and send me a message, whatever. Make contact. You have to make contact, because I'm here, okay? If you want to do it, my info is in the description box. This video, it's on Facebook originally, and also will be on YouTube, and I am going to put it in my description box. You can always contact me if you need some support, whether it's using Young Living or whether it's just moral support. It doesn't matter. I'm here for you. So I hope that you like my pointers for dealing with chronic illness. If you like this video, please share it with whoever you want, and give me oh sorry